Okay, I want to talk about today uh, the simulation and kind of what I learned and what were the important parts. How it all impacted me, and I guess maybe some improvements I would make, and overall what I would have changed probably. But we'll go through it a little bit step by step. So the first thing is actually going to be just reflecting on all the rounds of the simulation. So the first round, to be honest, I was quite confused with the simulation. I wasn't sure how to go about it, and I was really unfamiliar. The other simulation I've done is called, it's in business fundamentals. It's called like CAPSUM. It's called CAPSUM. I had to pull that one out of my head. And that one I was really, really good at. And it was I felt kind of the same way here. When I started out in Capsum and in this one, um, I didn't know what I was doing. I specifically was like, just felt like I was thrown in the deep end a bit, and I kind of had to figure it out. Same thing with Capsum. I had no idea what I was doing, and we screwed up our first round. But after I watched some YouTube videos and looked at some statistics and all these different things, I was able to figure out the best way to go about doing it where you can secure really good results. Now, obviously, that's a little, here and there, but uh, I feel like confidently I did learn a lot about how to get those results. Now, evaluating how well I did in the simulation, using the various different elements, and specifically the 4 P's of marketing, price, promotion, product, we did really good with that. Obviously my product was this tote bag, and I felt like price was the hardest thing for me. I feel like price was one of the hardest things for me to figure out, kind of where I did want that to be. But overall, it went really well. By the round 7, I learned a lot more. I was steadily increasing my price because of my value was going up. The product was really important. The tote bag, learning about that, learning about the different companies and all of that was really cool. And promotion was the P I felt really strongly about. In terms of marketing, that's like my favorite side. I felt like understanding the right place to take this in promotion and how much to invest at. I thought that was so fun, so cool to learn, and like my expertise, I guess you could say, in terms of all of this, that's what I was best at. Then, if you want to talk about, what went wrong, which one of the rounds was most challenging, right? So it's kind of hard to say. Um, this might be a little bit of a cop out, but I honestly think round 1 was the most challenging for me. I just really didn't know what I was doing. Um, Soup came in super blind and didn't, and I didn't know exactly what to do, like I mentioned before. But the good thing is, I was able to learn. Um, but yeah, it's just really challenging for me, honestly. I wish for this situation I was in a classroom where I could ask a teacher, a professor, like, hey, like, what the heck does this mean? Or how am I supposed to pick if I should offer them free shipping or 15% off? Like, I didn't know those things. I didn't know the market. All these different things really came into play. And so, with all of that, it was a little bit tough, but overall, it was a good time. A good simulation, I think, and I definitely would recommend it. I think it was an awesome class. And any lessons, conclusions, or principles learned during the course that apply to what I want to remember? Yeah, I definitely think there are a lot of lessons that I learned during this course. One of the first ones being one of the first lessons that I learned, I think, was the importance of promotion and actually not putting all your or putting all your eggs in certain baskets, right? I think that's a lesson in a lot of places in life, and promotion is one of them, where, right, you can either be a master of one thing or below average at everything, right? So, a good example I would give is, let's take the game of golf, for example. It's something that I play. You have driving, you have like long range approach shots, you have like wedges, um, greenside chipping, we'll say, and putting. Like 5 things, right? When you pick up the game of golf, like let's say you already know how to generally swing a club, when you start to pick it up, you can't just all of a sudden become, sinking 50-foot putts and, you know, getting up and down from chipping in every single hole. You can't be able to drive the ball 300 yards. Like, you go to the range and you have these sessions, you need to be working on one thing to get better at it. And then the other, it's tough because the other parts of your game are going to suck comparatively. But then once you feel really confident in that thing, you go to the next thing. And then once become a master of that, you go to the next thing, and then you just keep cycling these things. But because obviously you felt like a master at chipping, everything else came up. So then all of a sudden you're like, man, my chipping kind of sucks recently, right? So it is give and take, but that's a lesson I learned. Putting your eggs in a basket so you can actually become a master of something, or you can actually get rewards from something rather than just being below average at everything. And those are my takeaways. I think actually doing something, simulating real world situations in a business situation, is really awesome, and being able to do that in the marketing sense was really cool. So I really did enjoy it.